And welcome back to a special edition of Grind.Music.Repeat. You got your host, Hood Rock TV. I got one of the best producers in the world on the show today, yo.
Oh
Shout
man,
out to OG Dynasty, yo. What's good with you? How you living, yo?
I appreciate you, man. I'm good, brother. You know what I'm saying? Just taking a day at a time, man. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm lovely, bro. I'm feeling radioactive around these times of the year, bro. So
I
where
feel it.
you rocking from right now, yo? We live from
So
Clinton, North Carolina, yo.
Clinton, okay,
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm originally from Fayetteville. You know, I
Uh-huh.
grew up there, raised there, and
Yeah.
all that. But I'm like in the Raleigh area, like on the outer
Mm-hmm.
skirts these days.
Yeah.
I did live like in Research Triangle Park for a long time, but I
Oh
recently
yeah.
just moved to the
Yeah.
outer skirts. You know, it's getting a
Uh-huh.
little crowded.
Yeah.
Everybody moving
Yeah.
to the city and all that. Like,
Yeah.
but but yeah, that's where I reside at these days, man.
Hey, bro, hey, for one, yo, I want to say thank you for, you know what I'm saying, making out the time, you know what I'm saying, taking the time, come over here on the
Yeah,
Grind
man.
Music Repeat show, bro. It's
Yes,
crazy
sir.
because it's like I want everybody to know, you know what I'm saying, when the episode come on, you know what I'm saying, that beat, that song, OG Dynasty made that right there, you know what I'm saying? And
Yes,
I'm talking
sir.
about like that, like when I heard that beat scrolling through Instagram, like, yo, and then as I'm hearing that joint, I started writing right then, and I'm like, nah, let me holler at this dude, see what I could do about that right there. Let me get that joint right there, yo. And then
Yes, sir.
he ain't it want no haggles, you know what I'm saying, want no hassle, you know what I'm saying. And he had the paperwork too. And then shoot, that's like one of my number ones right there, yo. I'm still pushing that record, yo. So
Yes, sir.
let's get into you know what I'm saying, a little bit who you are, you know what I'm saying, for the people that don't know, you know what I'm saying, what you about, what you represent, give them a little bit of that.
Yeah, man. So I'm just I'm married, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I've been married for about 6 years now. We've been
Oh
together
yeah.
for 8 years.
Congratulations.
Eight
Yeah.
eight 8 to 9 years, man. And
Mm-hmm.
she's like my rock, and without her none of this works. She's the one
Yes,
that keeps
sir.
me going and she's
Yeah.
always been supportive. So I just want to shout out to my wife, man.
Yeah. Shout
And
out.
I'm a big family guy. I'm big on college.
Mm-hmm.
I'm all for people starting their businesses and stuff, but as
Yeah.
long as people have the money to invest into it,
Yes,
without
sir.
the IT side of
Mm.
things, music wouldn't have worked, and
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to continue to try to get to that point because I'm still not. I'm trying to get plaques. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Hopefully that's on the way soon,
Yeah.
but I still have a long ways to go.
Yeah.
So I'm big on like stuff like that, educating
Yeah.
people and
Yeah.
preaching that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's that powerful. That's that peace that we need. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes it be dark. You know, so and then you got to find a way to keep the light on, and then you can't dim
Yeah,
your light. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
It'll be a disservice to the rest of us. You know what I'm saying?
exactly.
So,
Yeah.
as far as like your introduction to music as a whole, you know what I'm saying? How did you fall in love with music?
Man, so my dad was deployed a lot. He was a military
Yeah,
guy, and he had the office. Every man got like a little mini man cave
yeah,
or whatever. I
yeah.
used to log into his laptop.
Uh
He'll
huh.
have like Daft Punk,
Yeah.
Dr. Dre, Eminem,
Uh
and
huh.
it'll go back to NWA. He had all these CDs stacked up. That
Yeah.
was back when
Right.
you didn't just have the radio, you had the
Yeah.
DVD players and all that, the
Yeah.
receivers,
Right.
everything plugged into the TV
Mm-hmm.
and all that.
Yeah.
So I'll just go through his CDs, man. I learned how to burn discs when I was like a child. I think we all kind of did, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like when we was like 6, 7, I
Yep.
was burning discs from my mom and like making new, like ripping songs from like not just Napster, but
Mm-hmm.
like just powder and stuff, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Putting gospel music up there
Yeah.
and house music.
Yeah.
Real big on like people like the Pharrells of the world and all that,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
Timberland. I came up during
Yeah.
that era. I'm a
Yeah.
'97 baby.
Mm-hmm.
So I came up during that era, man.
Yeah.
Like my dad had everything, and I just out of missing him for being deployed and all that
Yeah.
a lot, I would just go through his music
Mm-hmm.
to kind of remind me of him. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So
That's
that's really where
beautiful.
it came from.
That's beautiful. Like, and then so there was it's a whole nother language y'all can speak now. You know what I'm saying? Just
Yeah,
because, yeah, I've been
yeah,
rocking with that too.
exactly. Yeah,
You paying
yeah,
attention to that? Yeah, yeah. I like that. You know, play that song again.
yeah,
How you know this song? Like, you know what I'm saying? That kind of thing like
yeah,
that. So like as far as like a introduction to like as far as like making beats, like
yeah,
instrumentation and stuff like that.
yeah.
What's some of your earliest experiments? And then how did it actually, you know what I'm saying, propel you into like the level that you at now?
Man, so I came up when I did the beat thing,
Yeah.
like so I was doing sports. I ran track.
Uh-huh.
Basketball didn't work out. I tried
Yeah.
ball, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was on the team middle school, but I wasn't good
Yeah.
enough to play in high school. Did track in
Right.
high school. Sports
Yeah.
started dying out. Got a little
Hmm.
high school job. I was getting bored. You know, I seen people rap. I came up during the SoundCloud era, man. So
Yeah.
I seen
Oh.
people was posting their beats on SoundCloud and all that, and I was
Yeah.
like, I want to try that. You know,
Hmm.
so I downloaded FL Studio. Just the same story everybody got with how they
Yeah.
got it. I was trapping off the demo for a long time. Tried to
Right.
pirate the full version. I
Damn.
had one of the early full versions, but I think I was on 11,
Yeah.
excuse me, for a long time.
Hmm.
So I just started making beats on that.
Yeah.
And whenever I couldn't really export files, so I'll get like on apps like Music Maker Jam, and I'll
Right.
get on all type of weird any
Yeah.
free beat making app.
Right.
Cause I was just seeing if I could do it. I started
Yeah.
posting them on SoundCloud. Word started getting around school and all that,
Right.
and
Yeah.
it was up from there. I started getting $20 cash for it. You know,
Yeah.
pulling up on people at their
Yeah.
houses and all that. And
Damn.
I was making like at first it was the Chicago drill era, the first
Hmm.
like Chief Keef.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so I was making beats like that
Hmm.
and just making like regular. I came up off of Knife Wonder too. Like I'm inspired
Oh
by
yeah.
a lot of people, so I was
Shout out
chopping
to
up
him.
samples.
Yeah.
I was doing that, man, with Splice X and all that. So
Hmm.
I was trying to do that, and then like also pay homage to my modern era at the time, like with
Yeah.
Young Chops, and I was trying to be
Right.
like Young Chop and Lex Luger and all that.
Hmm.
You know, so
Yeah. Justice League. Yeah.
yes, yep,
Yeah.
yep, all that the 2010 stuff, man, all that, bro.
Hmm.
You
Yeah.
know.
So as far as like you well versed in your background of music, as far as like, you know what I'm saying, like you was talking about Daft Punk, NWA, you know what I'm saying, all of them, and then you say like you was into the Chicago drill making beat kind of thing. So like as far as like what's one thing that influenced like your creativity the most, as far as like, you know what, I'm inspired to do this from this, and then what would be that biggest influence?
I feel like the biggest influence was I gotta shout out the people that was already doing it at my school
Yeah.
before me.
Yeah.
I would pull up at their houses and all that,
Hmm.
and I don't think they no longer I don't think they don't produce anymore.
Yeah.
You know, so they kind of stopped and but
Hmm.
like I've credited them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Josh and Lewis, like they helped me out a lot as far as like because they was a little bit older than me too. I started when I was like in tenth or ninth grade. They was like
Hmm.
seniors,
Yeah.
so they told once they showed me how to work FO Studio
Yeah.
and like how to use the programs and all that. And I mean, you got YouTube and all that, but
Right.
I wanted to learn how to play instruments, but
Hmm.
that's something that I'm just now kind of touching as
Yeah.
far as like really learning how to do it, like
Hmm. Yeah.
guitar, piano, stuff
Yeah.
like that. But
Hmm.
back then, I was just kind of, if Mary Had a Little Lamb came out, it just came
Yeah.
out. I wouldn't be able to play it again, but now I can
Yeah.
play it again.
Yeah.
So it was all about like experimenting. That's the thing about like when you first doing something
Hmm.
like,
Yeah.
and especially if you love it, like you just experiment, man. You're not
Yeah.
really there's not like a rule book for it. You just
Yeah.
like whatever happens, like. And I posted on SoundCloud, and people, yeah, like it was really people. Once I learned that people started catching on to it, I was like, I think I can really do this. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? And my parents were supportive as well. They was like, as
Okay.
long as you go to college
Yeah.
and you have some money in your pocket, your bills is paid,
Yeah.
then just do whatever you want. Like my
Yeah.
dad gave me my first speakers and all that.
Hmm.
Um, he gave me a laptop to work on it. I mean, you kind of need one when you about to
Yeah.
go to college and stuff.
Yeah.
I was a sophomore, so
Hmm.
um, it wasn't an expensive laptop, you know what I'm saying, but it was exactly what I needed to make beats. So I
Yeah.
appreciate them for that too, because a lot of
Yeah.
people, parents, they not messing with it. They
Hmm.
like, yo, we don't want you doing none of that. Even
Right.
if you go to college to be a doctor, like forget
Yeah.
the beat stuff,
Yeah.
so
And I like what you said though, like as far as like that experimentation part. Because if you think about it, like even like a doctor, you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
They don't master doctory, or if you put it in those words like that, it's they always practicing it. You know what I'm saying? It's a different way that they could do certain things, and they trying to find those different ways. So like as far as like just making like making the tracks you like to make. You know what I'm saying? What's a like a signature move that you do to get that signature sound, and without giving up the secrets though? You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
I'm fine with that. I feel like all the secrets on YouTube, man. Like I
Yeah.
came up during the tutorial era. Like they just
Uh
go to
huh.
Busy Works Beat. Shout out to him.
Yeah.
That's my dog too. Like
Yeah.
I was watching him and all that, but like a lot of my secrets, it just comes down to keeping the people say they hate when the 808s are out of key and all that,
Yeah.
but the percussions be out of key, the
Uh-huh.
snares,
Yeah.
like they kind of just put the Lex Luger snare there and the
Hmm.
Young Chop snare, Sunny Digital
Yeah.
snare, and that's it. They don't really tweak the snares like that. They worried
Yeah.
about the melody and
Uh-huh.
the 808s and the kicks.
Yeah.
All the percussions and all this stuff, like you hear the Boss Man D-Lo beats and there's like them
Yeah.
zaps right after the
Hmm.
snares, like all that stuff matters.
Yeah.
Like I learned that over the years, like that's the stuff that keep people attention.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
because especially in an era where I hate to say everything sound the same because
Yeah.
arguably every 10 years there's like a span of like music that kind of sounds like when Michael Jackson was out, and
Yeah.
you can kind of hear that everyone was trying to be like him. If you talk
Yeah.
to older people, they'll kind of
Hmm.
tell you that too.
Yeah.
But like everything kind of sound the same. So to stand out, you got to do like the percussions and all that. Like find different sounds, like find those sound packs, or like record yourself washing
Yeah.
the dishes or something. Like I used to do
Yeah.
stuff like that, or
Dang.
get like a someone coughing from YouTube and put it in
Right.
there, and like use like Portal or
Uh,
Grossbeat. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? And people won't even know. Like the people might not appreciate it, but they'll
Yeah.
producers will know like the oh he worked to get that sound, and
Yeah.
the people will appreciate it without really appreciating it as in a sense of like they'll hear
Hmm.
something
Yeah.
like we still sing songs like like the Roddy Rich joint from the
Yeah.
pandemic. The eater is the thing in the
Yeah.
song, and
Right.
he did that. You know, the producer ain't
And
do
the,
that, but like
yeah.
that's the thing
And,
that we like go that we latched on to something
yeah.
weird, something different. It didn't sound like everything else. You
Right.
know, so I like to put that weird like Timberland put a frog in the beat. I like to do stuff like that.
Yeah.
Bring stuff like that back.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like
That right there. I like how you kind of got like a soulful kind of thing going on, but then it's like this club aspect, and it's like you would think it would contrast, but how it go together, it's like you get that full composition or something like that. Like, and I wonder if you design that sometimes, or do some of your creations just create themselves?
it can be designed, but the thing about doing the design yourself and not
Yeah.
letting it flow,
Hmm.
because my interpretation of letting it flow, like how you just said, is letting God handle the work. And you know,
Right.
I was raised in the South. We in the
Hmm.
South. You even got to apply God handle the work applies to the beats too. Like
Yeah.
if you forcing something, you get burnt out too quick. The
Yeah.
beat ain't gonna come out right, or it's gonna come
Uh,
out the same.
uh-huh.
And my manager's gonna be like, "Hey, like this ain't it," or "That sounds the same as the other 10 beats."
Yeah.
Like let's, or it's like, okay, I was forcing it that day. That's probably
Right.
why. Let me go back and edit these
Yeah.
files and let God handle it and not
Yeah.
force like a certain design. But you can
Hmm.
look up on YouTube like
Yeah.
people. I remember I used to look up like where the certain brass that Young Chop was using when I
Hmm.
first started, like the Chief Keef beats, and they would show
Yeah.
you everything. But it's like I don't want to make exactly that. I
Yeah.
just want to,
Yeah.
I'm just inspired by it, so I'm gonna just
Right.
use whatever plugin I want and just
Uh-huh.
try to get like a real gritty sound, like and
Yeah.
try to mold it into my own. Um, you know, you can try to do that, but just give God the keys at all times.
Hmm.
Like, because if
Yeah.
you, but there's times when you have to force it, if you got quotas and all that. You know, I'm not gonna lie, but I try my best to just give God the keys, man,
Yeah.
and let Him do that.
Yeah. So like with that kind of bounce, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
do you think like well, yeah, like in a cadence, in a flow, they some kind of certain kind of rhythm that you have, like kind of like a pattern that you create that can be redone and stuff like that. So like, do you feel like what you feel like the rhythm as far as like making an instrumental is like? Do you need to be feeling a certain kind of way for a beat to go a certain way, or do you is it just something like I got this is rhythm that I naturally have, or is it just something that you could just find and make rhythm in that?
So the way I answer that question is, I'll just use an example like the Memphis
Okay.
beats, right?
Yeah.
I really love it, you know, and I had to think about it. I was telling the Memphis artists I work with, I was like, you know what? Now I think about it, North Carolina is right next to Tennessee, so
Yeah.
I guess that's why I like it so much, like the crunk
Right.
music. But it's if you think about it, like you go all the way back to 3 6 Mafia, like in the late '90s, early 2000s.
Yeah.
That pattern has never changed, and that's
Hmm.
kind of in the pop beats. Kind of have that same Memphis kick pattern too, with
Hmm.
the dirty snares, dirty kicks.
Yeah.
So certain stuff like that, it's like they're gonna want that made. The Memphis artists, that's meaning
Yeah.
them, they're gonna want that like the same way every time, like
Yeah.
140 BPM,
Yeah.
the dirty Memphis kicks, the dirty hi hats. Like
Yeah.
that's you can change up the melody, but like it's
Yeah.
probably gonna be a dark melody. Club a
Uh-huh.
lot of Memphis stuff is club
Yeah.
vibes. Um, like when you get to like the Key Glocks, the BEO Kennys and all that, like
Hmm.
they're gonna want that bass, that at least the
Yeah.
drum pattern to sound the same. Like,
Yeah.
but switch it up a little bit as far as like when the snares hit and all that. But
Hmm. Yeah.
it's just something about that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And the Tay
Right.
Keith has a little bit different shit going on, even though
Uh-huh.
he from Memphis too. But you see,
Yeah.
he's with Sexy Red doing his thing,
Hmm.
and he came up with a little bit, tad bit different type of Memphis sound,
Yeah.
and I commend him for that too. But like
Yeah.
most of that, and I'll just use that as an example. Like, and same thing
Uh-huh.
with house music too. Another example, like if you go in the store, like the mall, like you and the house beat come on, they kind of all sound the same. They've been
Yeah.
sounding the same since I was like 5, but I
Hmm.
love them. You know what I'm saying? And you just change up the melody a little bit, make it a little
Yeah.
bit more eccentric, but it's
Yeah.
the same kick pattern, same snares. That artist or most of the house beats don't have the artist on it, but
Yeah.
DJs, whoever's spinning it, they want it the same sound. If it's too left field, it's no longer house music.
Yeah.
Like country, they try to gatekeep country, and like because they want it to sound how it's always sounded. They don't want it to be
Hmm.
mixed with hip hop, but
Right.
I'm not opposed to mixing it with hip hop. But
Yeah.
if you're a country like lover,
Yeah.
which I'm not like a big country lover, but I would like traditional country more. Like just like we
Hmm.
like some people like traditional rapping more, like
Yeah.
boom bap beats. Like
Yeah.
they'll listen to they'll listen to EPMD
Yeah.
and they'll listen to Joey Badass if they want that new era boom
Hmm.
bap. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So Ab Soul, I ain't listened
Yeah.
to the new album, but I'm pretty sure he usually has some boom bap elements in there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, but yeah, stuff like that has to stay. The base for it is the
Yeah.
same BPM. It's just you
Hmm.
switch up, like you add in, like how I was saying, like different sounds in there
Yeah.
to make to catch the person's attention,
Yeah.
to avoid repetition. But most of that stuff
Yeah.
is gonna forever. As much as
Hmm.
people say this sounds the same, Memphis drum pattern, it's gonna be no one's gonna get tired of it.
Yeah.
You gotta make a different song on the beat, but no one's gonna get tired of it, bro.
Yeah. Okay.
You know.
Okay. So I mean, you well versed in the game, and you on your game. So like as far as like you seeing like a lot of sampling being done. Like, what's your thoughts on that? Like, as far as sampling, can you sample too much?
You can.
Yeah.
And I always think about like my dad said that Prince said this, and then I started seeing on the internet,
Hmm.
later on, like you'll see it every 5 seconds. Prince is like, eventually we're gonna start sampling samples,
Yeah.
and that's what we doing.
Yeah. That's it.
And
Yeah.
I don't really like. I sampled my manager. He asked me to sample um a Destiny's Child record,
Yeah.
right? But he was like, we might get if it get placed, we might not get that much publishing back because it's a sample of a sample.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like if I were to sample it, like Knife
Right.
Wonder sampled it, it was the
Yeah.
girl record, but I was sampling they record. I was using they
Hmm.
vocals
Yeah.
and what Knife Wonder did to the
Right.
chopping of the sample.
Hmm.
And then I love chopping samples, but it's something that made me stop doing it besides the label stuff and they don't get
Yeah.
cleared. And a
Yeah.
lot of independent artists are unable to clear them as well,
Yeah.
which I found out later on. So
Hmm.
it's not a good process. I mean, you always hear about it, but it's a
Yeah.
really nasty process. I
Yeah.
try to stay away from it.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of. I notice we always kind of chop up the same samples. Like you'll see a producer
Yeah.
on TikTok chopping up the sample, and everyone's cutting the same part.
Yeah. Right.
Like I like to cut up the other part, but then it's like at that
Yeah.
point we all chopping the same song. Like there's only like the songs that came out in the '70s, they already out.
Yeah.
So everyone kind of I'm a dig in the real crates. Like, bro, we
Hmm.
all dug into those crates, like in
Right. Right.
Raleigh and Fayetteville. We all went to
Yeah.
the record stores, bro. We got them.
Hmm.
I got records back there that I don't pull out no more because I already sampled them.
Yeah.
And it's always like a specific part of the song that you can go back and do. But
Hmm.
it's like, bro, this song's been sampled how many times, bro?
Hmm.
And I'm not with the wave of like people think like they kind of the New York drill wave messed up a lot of the like, oh, they just rapping on it. I like sampling I have some Jersey beats where like
Yeah.
it's a good early 2000s R&B Ashanti
Yeah.
sample maybe.
Uh-huh.
Because that's like I said, that's what the era I grew up in. So
Right.
like that's most of the songs I like, but people don't
Hmm.
realize a lot of those are samples and they don't realize
Yeah.
it till they have to do paperwork. It's like,
Right.
yeah, they
Right.
sampled someone else.
Yeah.
Like the Lotto the Big Energy joint, like
Yeah.
Mariah Carey on the remix,
Right.
but like Mariah Carey sampled that song.
From
But we
somebody else.
kind of our era identifies it with Mariah Carey though, because like that's the
Yeah.
song that we grew up on. But my pops and
Right.
them, like, he loves saying, like, when I'm in the car with him and all that, my whole life he'll be like, "Yeah, that's a sample.
Yeah.
That ain't the real song." He was saying that in the early 2000s, and
Right.
those are the songs that we're sampling now.
Right.
So I
Yeah.
think that's getting a little bit messy. Like I heard about the Plies is suing somebody
Hmm.
with the I think he's suing Glorilla, Megan Thee Stallion, and Cardi for that record.
Dang.
I'm growing up thinking, yeah, I'm thinking that's the Pretty Boy Swag sample.
Right.
Apparently, Soulja Boy got it from the Dougie B record,
Right.
and I was
Yeah.
like, dang, I never actually thought about that. And
Right.
they telling Plies like, Plies, your record came out after that,
Yeah.
like so. But he's thinking that I guess he thought that he sampled it first. I don't know,
Right.
even back then. So that
Mm.
means someone didn't get credited back then. But it's a
Dang.
whole lot of messy situation. But
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's some paperwork I don't know nothing about.
Yeah.
But we can see the dates when these songs came
So
out.
how,
So
so as a
yeah,
producer though, like, and you
yeah.
see your work being used like that, how do you track that down as far as like on the business side of that?
Do have like Beat ID and stuff like that on
Yeah.
BeatStars, but
Right.
it's things are still AI is still getting kind of it's still getting acclimated within society.
Yeah.
It's not perfect yet. We all know that. Like,
Slip
hopefully
through
it
the
ain't too
cracks.
perfect. But
Yeah.
yeah, like, but I wanted. Hopefully that system can become like more. Sometimes it be tripping out. Like you ever post
Hmm.
something on YouTube and
Yeah.
then within 1 second they take it down. It's like, okay, y'all doing good on that.
Yeah.
But when I was trying to take down the song that I did,
Yeah.
it was kind of hard.
Right.
But they do pretty good at that. Like if I see someone with a song and it wasn't cleared,
Hmm.
um, now that I have a manager, like I kind of have him I kind of just relate it to him. I
Right.
delegate it to
Yeah.
him. But before, I'm gonna speak on like this whole time.
Yeah.
I would take down, but I'll let them know that I was
Yeah.
taking it down. You know what I'm saying? I'll be
Right.
like, hey man, like I don't know where you got this beat from. I
Right.
probably emailed it to you when you was signed
Yeah.
because a lot of them, what happens is I send them emails out to people
Uh-huh.
and they get dropped from the label and then they can just release
Oh,
whatever song they recorded or
nah.
they go through their email. It's like I sent that to
Yeah.
you when you was signed, you
Yeah.
know? And I was like, I get that you're independent now, but like you could at least DM me and say like, hey, I don't have I'm with it. I'm not for
Right.
charging independent artists like five
Yeah.
thousand, $1,000. They
Yeah.
not the label.
Right.
Like I could have worked with them. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Couple hundred. Or
Yeah.
like lease it for $40. Or
Yeah.
if you really don't have it, we can do royalties and just
Yeah.
see where stuff go. Then maybe that'll
Right.
get you signed next like
Yeah.
in the future.
Yeah.
Cause like this I have a star record with Star Bands coming out next
Yeah.
Friday. I sent the
Okay.
beat to her before she was signed.
Let's go.
You know what I'm saying?
Let's
So,
go.
and I was gonna allow her to cause I seen she was blowing up. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And I was gonna allow her to just post it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna take it down or nothing, but that's cause she was
Right.
hot. And I
Yeah.
had a feeling. I heard some rumblings. You can see when the
Yeah.
A&R's following her and all that.
Right. Yeah.
I knew like she was gonna get signed. I had
Yeah.
a feeling. And I was right. You know what I'm saying? I was on my
Yeah.
A&R stuff, so I was really proud about that. I'm really proud
Yeah.
about that.
That's
So
crazy.
but that's an example of like, okay, I'm gonna lead a song. I would let her release the song whether she was signed or
Right.
not, because I
Yeah.
just felt like I knew she was gonna blow up.
Yeah.
She was already getting views.
Yeah,
So
that's respect right there. And then that's another thing too. Like, I mean, the music game is a business at the same time, but then it's like they some acts where it's like, you know what? Even if I don't even get nothing from it, like this is a good placement right here, and it's some good eyes on me.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And maybe somebody else might try to get some of this same kind of work. You know what I'm saying? And
hmm
another thing too. Uh, other than having the project itself just
hmm
solely, what's the difference between leasing it and then buying the track straight out?
So buying the track straight out,
Yeah.
um, you pretty much own it from then on. Like
Yeah.
most of my beats, like I have so many beats. A lot of them
Hmm.
haven't been either even purchased. So I know a
Yeah.
lot of people are worried about like, oh, what if 10 people bought it before me? I don't have that much traction. A
Right.
lot of people don't.
Yeah.
I can't sell all 2-3 thousand of my beats on my web. I got too many beats.
Yeah.
So exclusive rights they'll own it.
Hmm.
Radio play if
Yeah.
they want to take it to radio play.
Yeah.
But what people should start doing, what
Hmm.
I recommend to independent artists, I don't think you should buy exclusive rights immediately.
Yeah.
Lease the beat for
Uh-huh.
$40
Yeah.
if the producer has. I know some producers their leases is like $200 and all that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've been in high school I worked at Burger King, bro, college and all
Yeah.
that. Like I understand like people, you had to work with people budgets, bro.
Yeah.
They if they just they have a dream and all that, let them lease it. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And like the Old Town Road situation, Lil Nas X, he bought
Yeah.
the beat for $30,
Hmm.
leased it, he came back once he got signed and saw the song was blowing up. The label was like, "Yo, you got exclusive rights?" Nah, I don't. He's like, "Yeah, we gotta get exclusive rights for that." They went back to the producer and paid
Yeah.
label money for it.
Yeah.
But what I'm recommending the artist is like lease it, see how the song do.
Yeah.
If you get some traction and you want to go to radio play and you feel like you finna get signed and all that,
Yeah.
come back and get exclusive rights. Maybe you could
Yeah.
cop it for $500
Yeah.
before the label got to pay even more than that. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? So, because either way, or just had the label pay for it. Maybe their situation's different where
Yeah.
it doesn't get pulled out of their budget if they get
Right.
signed.
Yeah. I hope
Like stuff
not.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's different situations. So sometimes they're like,
Hmm.
"Yo, we just gonna let the label handle that. I leased it."
Yeah.
They said they're gonna just take it off the website and
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Like once
Yeah.
Star Bands got signed and they came back to me and to do the paperwork and all that. I been had took it down. Once I seen the snippet, I took it down because I heard she got signed, so I knew they was
Yeah.
gonna come and get the beat, and they got the beat for
Yeah.
more money than it would have been on BeatStars. But independent artists, I think y'all should just lease,
Yeah.
man, lease
Yeah.
it for 24, save that money.
Yeah.
If it's anything like my website, you can get some free, some
Hmm.
beats free
Yeah.
for purchasing beats and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You just add it
Yeah.
to the cart because there's so much competition. Like
Yeah.
why would I put my leases at like $500 and my exclusive rights at a label price that
Yeah.
artists can't pay? And
Right.
I'm seeing some independent artists pay it, whether they have it or not, and I
Yeah.
respect it. But like,
Yeah.
don't want to do that, man.
Hmm.
Like, you
Yeah.
don't pay your bills first. You know what I'm saying?
I
So,
respect that. I
but
respect
leases,
that.
yeah, lease is the main thing. Sorry about, I had to answer this part of your question.
Nah, you cool.
Um, but the lease is the main thing is you can't get radio play or there's
Hmm.
different rules for different producers. For me,
Yeah.
when you lease for me, I bet not hear on the radio. You gotta have
Yeah.
exclusive rights. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But a label wouldn't clear it. The
Hmm.
label wouldn't just put it on the radio. Labels don't
Yeah.
necessarily do that. Anytime you hear
Right.
about a label owing a producer money,
Yeah.
some other producer collected it and said they produced it when they didn't,
Dang.
or a co-producer was in there. They
Yeah.
credit the other producer. That's usually what happens. The
Dang.
label's usually on top of it.
Yeah.
All the sample stuff. It's like no, they cleared it with somebody
Hmm.
that owns it as
Right.
well, but they just didn't add you in there.
Dang.
But that person, somebody uh put a shiesty on, man.
Yeah.
But like the leases, yeah, man. The
Yeah.
leases is like the leases is different, man. Like just you could put it on like before during when I first came up in the SoundCloud
Uh-huh.
era, it was like, oh, you can't put it on streaming, but you can put it on SoundCloud. But
Yeah.
SoundCloud started dying and they started monetizing their stuff anyway, which is good
Right.
for the artists.
Yeah.
Um, so I was just like, hey, I already know they're gonna put it on Apple Music. That's where
Yeah.
it should go.
Yeah.
So I was like, any lease that y'all get, you can put it on the album. I don't care.
Yeah.
You don't need exclusive rights. You really don't
Yeah.
need my exclusive rights unless you want to own it. You
Yeah.
don't care about no one else leasing it.
Yeah.
But if your song doing good, come back and get exclusive rights. If you're trying to put it on TV and all that,
Yeah.
like I bet not hear it on the Kardashians television and
Yeah.
you just leased it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? That's all it is. Like
Yeah.
it's pretty simple. I know what complicated it is other producers and they rules because you could curate your
Hmm.
own rules on like
Right.
BeatStars and Airbit
Yeah. Yeah.
and they be having all these weird rules like, oh, you got to get like once you get to 5,000 streams, you got to upgrade your lease.
Dang.
What? That's weird. That's
5,000.
weird. I respect the hustle if they actually making money from it,
Right.
but I don't advise. And if I was an artist, I'll be like, yo, that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
So once I get 2,000 streams on the beat, I pay $20 for. I got to pay
Hmm.
$8 for it, and I still
Yeah.
don't own it. Like, and then, but and they try to entice people to go ahead and get exclusive rights off rip.
Right. Yeah.
And it's like the artist's not gonna profit $500 from it overnight. You know what I'm
Nah.
saying? Because it's just so many independent artists. Everybody can upload to Apple Music. I
Yeah.
upload my own beat tapes to Apple Music, so I know
Hmm.
how much artists is making. It's
Yeah.
not that much.
Yeah.
So
Dang. So as far as like creating the beat process and stuff like that, do you have the mindset of an artist while you doing that, or is just strictly from a standpoint of a producer?
so certain pieces of the beat when you're making the beat, mindset
Yeah.
of a producer.
Yeah.
But when I'm arranging it, trying to
Yeah.
figure out where the chorus is gonna be at,
Okay.
where they can, I be rapping to myself while I'm making it when I'm
Yeah.
switching, like, cause I got tired of people when early on, like the biggest thing was arranging it. I just thought the
Yeah.
beat had to be hard the whole way. It'd be a
Yeah.
6 minute. I'm sending out 6 minute long beats, and
Yeah.
it's like I thought it had to be like hard the whole way,
Yeah.
and it never really switched up like that.
Hmm.
And it'll switch up, but it'll be the switch up be 2 minutes long where they're
Right.
supposed to be like cause I'm like, we came up in the era too.
Yeah.
How old are you, bro?
I'm 33.
33. Okay,
Yeah.
26. 30. We not like I'm about to turn 27 next month, so we not that
All
far
right.
apart.
Yeah.
We came up when it was 5, 6 minute songs on the
Yeah.
radio.
Yeah.
Somewhere in between that,
And that
we
it
started doing
changed.
3 minute. Yeah, they took the
Yeah.
bridge out, so the
Yeah.
arrangement changed while I was making beats when I first started. The
Yeah.
arrangement changed.
Yeah.
Even in R&B, they still try to. They just now trying to put it back,
The
and
bridge.
yeah, they trying to put it back
Yeah.
for that category. But it used to be
Uh-huh.
in like even the you hear a Ludacris song,
Yeah.
there'll be like a little bridge there, and they get the
Yeah.
girl to sing on it. That really don't really happen. And they labels have their own reasons for that or
Yeah.
whatever, apparently.
Hmm.
But once that started happening, it got a little bit more easier to arrange.
Yeah.
For like Memphis stuff, club stuff, you can start off with the hook, or you
Yeah.
it's like, okay, what type of beat am I making? Let me imagine myself as Young Dolph real quick. Let me rap
Right.
like him.
Yeah.
Okay, let me go listen to his song right here again and see when he
Yeah.
started doing the chorus, and
Right.
I'll just do it like that. I do that all the time,
Yeah.
the
Okay.
arrangement. But now it's like clockwork because like I done ever since I've heard songs I produce, I'm like, okay, I'll
Yeah.
just keep that arrangement for
Yeah.
that type of beat, and I'll just keep. And if they want me to switch it up, they'll tell me like, hey, like I want to do something different with this record. I see what you
Yeah.
did, putting the eight
Yeah.
bars right there, doing the 16, but let's make it start off like this, because I also came up when we kind of took out the intro. You
Yeah.
hear a beat now,
Yeah.
it's knocking like as soon as it start. And I mean, when I play beats for artists now, like they don't even want to
Yeah.
hear an intro, bro. Mainly rappers.
For
Um,
real?
yeah, they just like, yo, if it take like over 10 seconds to start, they won't. They'll say next beat before they, and it's like, all right. But what
That's
I would do,
crazy.
I'll go back and like redo the beat, right?
Yeah.
And the next day I'll come in the studio, play that same beat, and it'll start off where at the part that they skipped because
Right.
the intro was too long. So I
Right.
basically just took the intro route and they picked the
Yeah.
beat.
That's
So
crazy.
it's the arrangement that you got to think like an artist, like to me, because you
Yeah.
gotta if you don't like you're gonna be sending hard beats and then they gonna try to record it. And artists they don't really send back like suggestions no more. They used to,
Yeah.
but if it's not right, they just gonna be like, hey man, they gonna tell the engineer like, yo, I know we was on that beat, but he messed up like after the first 16. Like, go ahead
Right.
and delete all that and let's get
Dang.
a real producer in here. I've
Yeah.
seen it happen. And I'll
Dang.
be telling producers that too. I'm like, yo, your arrangement's kind of off, and I'll tell them where to switch stuff at. And
Yeah.
he was like, yeah, you right, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
that does sound better. I was like, yeah, you had a 30-second long thing with no kicks in it. Like this ain't no
Yeah.
Travis Scott album. He like
Yeah.
the only one that can him and Tyler.
Yeah.
If you produce for Tyler Creator
Yeah.
and Travis Scott, you can
Yeah.
do have a you can that intro can be as long as it want to be.
Right.
But that's why they have their producers in there so they can tell them
Yeah.
that. But most of the rap songs, like if you produce for Megan Thee Stallion or something, like she don't want to hear that, bro. This ain't
Yeah.
no artist like Kanye West, Tyler Creator type of thing. Like,
Hmm.
once I do something like that, I'll bring back my 45-minute long
Yeah.
intros.
Yeah. I
So
think it's something I figured out about myself. Shout out to my homeboy Ty. He said, "Yo, Dre, man, you know you rhyme different when they ain't no drums on the beat." And I'm like, "What you
yeah,
mean?" And then it'll be like what's that joint? The Two Chains and Ariana Grande joint, the Rule the World joint.
yeah,
That's a
yeah.
but it's like that I think the second verse that he got down on
Hmm.
that joint where there ain't no drums out there, it's different.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
it's like as an artist, it's like either you got different levels of access to your craft or you just got to stick with your main goods and stuff like that. So like
Exactly.
me hearing a beat, sometimes I think like one, okay, it's telling me something, and then I'm thinking like two, what's something that I always do no matter what kind of beat I'm on, and then my thing is like, okay, love, motivation, and work. I'm always go. That's my motto. That's always what I'm gonna have in my flow, in my music, anything that I create.
Hmm.
So when I hear a beat, I be thinking like, dang, yeah, this could be better. But at the same time, if I like a particular sound, that's all I need, and then I'm rocking with that like that. That's crazy though, man. So man, OG Dynasty, yo, man, like yo, I'm talking about you well versed right here. You solid above the shoulders, baby. Like
I appreciate
I
it,
love
man.
the way you speak about, you know what I'm saying, like your creation process and stuff like that, and you know the game around you too. You know what I'm saying? Because some people be just myopic, locked in that tunnel vision. They don't see nothing else. And then that's like being a quarterback in the NFL and you don't know
Hmm.
who Peyton Manning is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So it's
yeah,
wild. It's
yeah,
wild,
man.
man.
I appreciate you, man.
Yeah, man. So we on this Grind Music Repeat, man. It's a beautiful day, man. You got some people you want to send out some love to, bro? Go ahead, shoot it out to
Yeah, man. I want to show love to my manager Wayno, man. Like
them.
Wayno, man. Like in such a short period of time, man, he
Yeah,
done like he really inspired me,
yeah,
and like I really like because I grew up on the everyday struggle with him and
yeah,
academics and all that. So
right. Yeah,
work with him, bro, and I think we about to do some real crazy stuff, man.
yeah.
And
Okay.
it's and I've been sending my beats to certain artists, but I ain't,
Yeah,
it's like it's like people that I grew up with, which so
yeah,
it's more special, but not
yeah,
with, but like with musically, listening
yeah,
to him. So
yeah,
he's been helping me trying to get that curated, and
yeah,
like hopefully, I pray that a lot of stuff like these people hop on the beats and all that. But like
yeah.
either way, he's helped me a lot, got me in rooms. He's one of the only people that like he'll say like, "Oh, I'm gonna get you in a room with this person." Bro,
Yeah.
he had me in a room with P, bro. P QCP was
Dang,
standing right behind me, bro. Yes,
dang.
yes, bro. He was
Yeah,
standing right behind me, and all that happened this year, man. So I
yeah,
got to credit to Wayno, bro. Like I met so
yeah,
many people, like in my I went to Atlanta, like in
yeah.
July,
Uh-huh.
and to link up with him, and I went to a quality control studio. I got so much
Hmm.
done, bro,
Yeah.
and it just felt good, man. So shout out to Wayno. I want to shout out to Tavares Jordan, my boy Tavares Jordan. He just
Uh-huh.
produced. You gotta get him on the show too. Tell him I sent you, man.
Yeah, for real.
Um,
Yeah, cause
yeah,
he be on he joined on YouTube too.
yeah,
Yeah, bro.
yep,
And it's
yep,
crazy because I was going through some of your stuff on YouTube and he popped up too. Yeah, but I'm
yeah.
talking about what's the Just Dan beats.
Mhm.
That dude, he got some nice stuff too, man. They a whole
Yeah,
lot of, you know what I'm saying? And then it's like it's crazy. You like, yeah, that person real. Yeah, that's a real person, bro.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's really like Tavares, real solid dude, man. You think I'm
Yeah.
solid?
Yeah.
He's like 32. He
Yeah.
been doing this for 16 years, bro. And I know him since 2018. I met him in Fayetteville
Hmm.
like, at Red Room,
Yeah.
and
Oh yeah.
it just was so like what he did recently. He just produced a Summer Walker record that's
Oh
been
yeah.
sharing on the
Shout out to
radio,
that.
and
Yeah.
he told me about. He called me a week before it dropped, and he told me about everything he went through as
Yeah.
far as like So I'm not gonna speak on it because I want him to be able to say that on your show and
Yeah.
all that. But like he he really went through like a lot, you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And it was a really wonderful, like, oh, God is real type of story, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The way that happened, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So, because like no co-producers, no samples either. He produced that
Right.
on his own, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, I mean, shout out to Tavares Jordan.
Right.
That's my dog. He always
Hmm.
inspired me, motivate me. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? We produced the record for Trade the Truth together. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's my dog. Yeah, man, that's my
I hear
dog,
a
bro.
lot of people talk about
Like,
Trey the Truth, bro. He really
yeah.
the truth, bro.
Yes. Yeah, yeah, he called me and everything, man. So it
Yeah.
was like it was surreal to hear him on the phone, like Trey the Truth,
Hmm.
solid
Yeah.
dude, man. So shout out to him and yeah, shout out to my wife and my family, man. And shout out to
Oh yeah.
Draquan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you,
thank you for
yo.
having me on the Grind.Music.Repeat show,
Ah,
man. I
bro,
appreciate
man, thank you for coming through, bro. I'm talking about like this. This make me want to get in the studio today. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna leave this
it.
studio and go
Yeah.
to my studio. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's
So,
just that powerful aspect that we create with this music, man. And I think like music in general is one of the things that can bring all people together. Yo, black, white,
yeah,
green, yellow, turquoise, pink. You know what I'm saying?
absolutely.
Fuchsia,
Yeah.
everybody together. Just you know what I'm saying. And I think that's as artists, as creators, that's a
Mhm.
responsibility we have. You know what I'm saying. So I just want to say shout out to you, bro. Shout out to checking out the show, man. Grind music and repeat, bro. Because if it ain't about music, we really can't use it, yeah. Hey,
Facts.
boom, yeah.
For the ring with the heavyweight. World Series law number one.